The Supreme Court has officially ruled 6-3 against the student loan forgiveness program proposed by President Joe Biden. The Student Debt Relief Plan was expected to forgive $430 billion worth of student loans held by approximately 40 million Americans. So what's next? Interest will resume for student loans starting in September of this year, and payments will be due starting in October. President Biden made a statement that he would take additional steps to relieve the financial burden of student loans on low and middle income families. But seeing as the Supreme Court can step in and negate any future programs, let's discuss other methods for getting rid of your student loan debt. The first possibility is student loan forgiveness. Now wait, I thought you just said that student loan forgiveness was off. That's correct, but there are actually certain professions that can still qualify for forgiveness, cancellation, or discharge of their loans. If you're employed by a government or nonprofit organization, you may be eligible for loan forgiveness under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. This program forgives the remaining balance on your direct loans after you've been making payments for 120 months, which is the equivalent of 10 years. Another option is if you've been teaching for 5 or more complete and consecutive years at a low-income school, you may be eligible for up to $17,500 in student loan forgiveness. Also, if you're permanently disabled, you go bankrupt, your school closes, and a myriad of other options can qualify you for loan forgiveness. I recommend checking out studentaid.gov to see if you qualify for any of these special circumstances. But seeing as many of these programs are very niche, let's discuss an option that anyone can utilize as long as they're employed. The next technique is taking advantage of employer benefits. Now this is a technique that I've had the pleasure of using myself. If you're currently a student and working full-time, there are many employers that offer up to thousands of dollars a year towards your tuition. But what we're talking about are the employers that offer programs after you've finished school and have student loans. A recent survey found that approximately 20% of employers offer student loan repayment programs that help their employees to pay back their student loans faster. This same survey found that another 30% of employers are currently considering implementing a student loan repayment assistance program. These programs can look like anything from your employer helping pay hundreds of dollars every month to a lump sum to pay off your student loans. So what do you do if your current employer doesn't openly state that they offer one of these assistance programs? The first thing you can do is ask. It's important to note that once you're an employee, your bargaining power is a bit weaker, and if your employer isn't willing to negotiate, then maybe it's time to look for another opportunity. Your negotiating power is never stronger than when you first receive a job offer. So let's say you've just received a job offer, but this new employer doesn't openly state that they offer a tuition assistance program. You should still negotiate and ask if they would be willing to help you. It would amaze you that you can negotiate for benefits that you never even imagined or are ever openly spoken by the company. I've negotiated for everything from sign-on bonuses to extra 401k contributions, and you too can negotiate for student loan repayment assistance programs. And you can do this at any company. This is not just for finance and tech. You can do it in any sector. And even if they're not willing to offer that assistance program, maybe you can negotiate for a higher salary, which then you can put towards paying off your student loans faster. It's been found that those who reconsider their employment opportunities every 2 to 3 years have a significantly higher salary and promotion rate over the life of their career. Another option is to do whatever possible to get those loans paid back faster. For me, this really comes down to 2 techniques. One is spend less, and one is make more money. We discussed looking for other jobs to increase your salary, but you can also find side hustles to make more money. In addition, you can evaluate your spending and look for areas where you can save more money and put that money straight towards paying off your student loan faster. There are 2 methods commonly referred to as the Snowball method and the Avalanche method for paying back debt. The Snowball method is when you focus on paying back your smallest loan first and make the minimum payments on your other loans. Once you've paid off that smallest loan, you'll put that money that you were paying each month towards the bigger loans to also get those paid back. But I personally find the Avalanche method to be more successful for paying back debt in student loans. The Avalanche method is when you focus on paying back the highest interest rate debt first. Now, if you have any credit card debt, this is likely a higher interest rate than your student loans. You should actually focus on paying those off first. But of course, another option you have is to refinance and consolidate your loans to make the interest rate go down. Now, if you can spend less every month and put more money towards your student loan, you're going to pay it off significantly faster. Let's pose a scenario where you owe $20,000 in student loans, you have a 7% interest rate, and your loan term is 10 years. After 10 years, if you've only made the minimum payment, you'll have actually spent almost $28,000 paying off those student loans. Now let's just say you find a way to make twice the minimum payment on that student loan. Not only will you get that loan paid off in only 5 years, but you'll save almost $5,000 in interest. This will save you so much money in the long run. Now, there are lots of other methods that I can't mention in this short video, but I want to throw out a couple of other honorable mentions. It's important to keep 3 to 6 months of expenses on the sideline in case you ever need it, but if you have a significant amount more than that sitting in a savings account, it'll be more beneficial to you to put that money towards paying off your student loans or any other high interest rate debt rather than sitting and collecting a couple of dollars per year in interest in a savings account. If you own a home that now has some equity in it, you can consider taking out a home equity line of credit and using some of that money to pay off the student loan. A cash out refinance of your home can also be an option, but with how high interest rates are right now, it would not be my first option. Check to see if you qualify for a tax deduction based on the interest you pay on your student loans. Contact your student loan service provider and see if they're willing to negotiate any of your loan terms. Loan servicers are frequently able to negotiate your loan term, your interest rate, and other options for helping you to get your student loan paid back. And apply for grants and scholarships that focus on helping professionals pay off their student loans. That's right, grants are not just for helping you pay for school while you're there, they can also help you pay back loans after you've already graduated. Do your research to see if you qualify for any of these grants and scholarships and start applying for them to help get your loan paid back. Please let me know in the comments if you have any other techniques you've used to pay back your student loans fast. You may or may not agree with the Supreme Court ruling, but just remember, when one door closes, another door opens.